catching BMTC bus. If I miss 6:30 a.m. bus, then I'm going to be late. So I had to rush every morning and get on Baswangudi, walk all the way till Rangarav Road. I miss walking on those streets, enjoying that breeze, birds chirping, and it's like me time. And that used to be my time to recollect something and ensure that I wouldn't make mistakes. This is how my Arangetram practice, early morning rehearsals began. Funnily, after practicing, I had to rush to college from there. The first thing I used to do is rush to the college canteen. Canteen auntie knew that I used to come from dance practice and I would be dead tired. So 2 plates of breakfast was for me. A lot of times auntie would make milk or coffee or something else saying that "Nin dance mad susta girtya, togo." I still feel so happy when I recollect those memories. Even today, when canteen auntie talks to me, she talks about those days. Or when I meet her, she gives coffee and says, "Dance heng naditide." So that's the joyous part. Poornima auntie always tells it's such a challenge to convince me, and also I'm quite adamant at times. And I have my own mind which keeps functioning differently. One such experience was on my Arangetram day, where I was performing this Swarakattu, a traditional piece from Tanjavur Parampara. And you all know how Jataswarams are so tiring and challenging. After the first chorway, I felt so tired, I just skipped the second chorway and ended up with third chorway this way. And while I turn, I look at auntie where she's sitting with the music ensemble, I give a big smile and she was still calm, quiet. I don't know if she realized at that time, but then when I told, she did say, "My goodness, I didn't even pay attention to that." This is how even the entire music ensemble just sang, continued with Anupallavi, Charanam and so on. I can't believe how even on stage, I end up doing these impromptu things or change things. But I'm so blessed to say that Poornima auntie has always been kind and encouraging, and she's never ever criticized me or yelled at me or said anything when I have done such things. Nataraja Deva Sachita Ananda. Varnam, male dancer, Swaminananda Nadimai, goes hand in hand. Yes, I performed Natukaranji Varnam, Swaminananda Nadimai, and it was a great inward journey for me because my teacher made sure that every single interpretation was taught, rehearsed well, understood and then presented. With the concept of Jivatma Paramatma, the whole Varnam was composed as a devotee taking his journey, inward journey as well as outward journey towards Nataraja. And the highlight of this Varnam was the last Sahityam, which was rarely performed. And a lot of dancers, artists were actually surprised and asked, "Oh, where did the Sahityam come from?" "Nee varam taram udan ninaindu va me anbu konda." I loved that. The crux of the entire Varnam comes from the last Sahityam. And I still remember, "Kala kala mena nagaithidum ivalam viraham." The struggle was to show tears at the same time laugh and make sure that it is blended really well. So some nitty-gritties of Abhinaya did have a lot of struggle back then, but I think I've been able to manage pretty well when I dance now. With every student, Poornima auntie tries to bring out something new. And being the first student that she presented in India and being the only male student until now, she brought out a poem written by Vijayalakshmi Vijay Kumar, mother of renowned dancer Rukmini Vijay Kumar. She took that poem which talks about separation of Vishnu and Lakshmi. This poem was later translated to Kannada and music composed by Thirumalai Srinivas Chami uncle, and very beautiful, talks about the pain that Vishnu is going through, missing Lakshmi, longing to get back and requesting Lakshmi to come back to Vaikunta, where this Vaikunta is lifeless without her. He talks about how he's getting scared because Adi Shesha is glaring at him and his own vehicle, Vahana, Garuda, is trying to pounce on him. This struggle fascinated me, and for some reason I've always loved, and even now I love pieces on Viraha. Kelisa lillave yenna kare Lakshmi. Strangely, the end of Tilana, I feel pumped up. Simendra Madhyama Tilana, there is Sarikal Advus, continuous movements, and I've always loved doing that. Okay, I've not spoken about Pushpanjali, right? This space, Kala Sindhu space, is as old as my Arangetram. And I still remember during my Arangetram, when a small puja was held, Auntie invited me and said, there's a small puja in your name also to make sure that your Arangetram is successful. And these little offerings have made me feel so special. And in this space, During Navratri time, little girls or little ones did shlokas on Devi, Saraswati, Lakshmi and Parvati. I told auntie I want to do this. There were a couple of weeks left for my Arangetram, and with Pushpanjali, all these little shlokas were interspersed and I presented it. Even today I love presenting that Pushpanjali. I was just wearing one choker and the waist belt and maybe these, a little ones, very simple, traditional. Poornima auntie's mother, Sudhaji, said, upper body looks so plain. And that's when she said, post Arangetram, she got me this silver poonal and she said, you need to use this for your shows. And I do wear them for my shows. Being male child of Kala Sindhu, I'm so pampered, loved, and maybe a little spoiled. And I definitely thank Sudhaji for such a thoughtful gift, getting me a silver poonal. And how many of them can be this lucky, right? This way, the journey of my Arangetram has been so fruitful. I have carried the same learning with my students as well. 3 to 4 months of practice, delving deeper into texts, contexts, interpretations, temple stories, music, and the best is the bond between teacher and student. The treasure that I have got from my teacher, I've tried to share as much as possible with my students. So I can see how I spend months together with my student, individual attention and exploring the whole text, sitting with them, understanding the music or practicing with them, and then composing, looking at what suits the body of that student. The whole process of this Arangetram has been so beautiful. I really miss that. And I've asked auntie so many times, given a chance, I want to redo my Arangetram, experience that whole bliss of 3 months of sweat, joy, pain and learning. That's something that cannot be equated with anything. And I keep hearing that from my students as well, that the journey of 3 to 4 months or more of Arangetram practice and performing is something that they all miss.